Just graduated from Spelman with a master's in public relations.
Good job, Dad.
I'm trying to get y'all to connect me with somebody in here.
What,
I think
here?
politics,
We can do that.
public relations,
PR.
communications.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way for her to get on right now because everyone in the campaign needs a good person like that. How old is she?
23.
She's perfect. You can get on with anybody. Good to see you, Dinsky.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning and welcome back. I am Dean Weitzman, your host, every Saturday morning right here on 100.3 WR&B.
And Classics 107.9.
And big shout out to our YouTube family who's growing. You're having babies and you're turning your babies on to Court Radio. I appreciate that. Remember, bada boom, like and subscribe.
Please
That'll
do.
get us an Academy Award this year if we have enough listeners and followers. Like and subscribe. And don't forget, Saturday, June the 13th. At noon ski. It's going to be a different time. Noon, Saturday the 13th, we are doing a live court radio demonstration, presentation, and show.
Highlights.
Yeah.
You're going to do somebody's insurance policy.
I'm sure I will. I'll answer questions from the studio audience, and we've got a couple of great clients whose cases have resolved, and they're going to walk you through the pros and cons of being represented by my Philly lawyer. Mainly, it's the pros. Yeah,
There are no cons, right?
we kill those clients. We don't let them talk to anybody.
Wow.
That voice.
Who is that?
Yeah, that voice in the distance you hear. When we want to talk to somebody who knows their thing about criminal defense, there's only one person I can think of. It's Ken Edelin.
There you go. You got a crime, he got the time.
He never does the time. Thank you, sir.
Good to see everybody. Good morning.
So, Kenny, how's things been going since we last saw you?
Things are wonderful. Family's doing well. Lights are still on, so I don't complain about a thing.
Still smoking them stogies?
As often as possible.
Yeah.
Had one on my way here.
Yeah,
Probably
baby.
have another one on the way home.
Yeah.
Stogie Brothers.
I'm going to join you on that one.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to join you. If you don't know Ken, and I'm going to just do a brief intro, he worked for maybe a dozen years for the Philadelphia Public Defender's Office.
Yep.
State and federal.
Yeah, I was getting there. And then the Federal Defender's Office. And he's a graduate of Morehouse College and Howard University School of Law.
Don't get more black than that.
Yeah. Yes.
Proud of it.
And a member of Omega Sci-Fi.
And blacker still. You got credentials.
Got to make up for my
got-
light melanin.
Stop it.
Me too. I'm doing that all the time.
You're an honorary, but you're an honorary, brother. You in there?
All right, let me ask you a question. Now, let's get serious.
All right.
All right. I'm going to ask a tough question. We're going to lead with the tough one, okay? As an attorney, I've been practicing now almost 40 years, okay? Just shy of 40. And I can go back, and I have had many, many successes in my life, many. But I can remember with clarity the one case I thought, if I had only done it this way or that way, and it just weighs on me even today.
That one case.
One
out
case.
Out of the hundreds.
And maybe that's not fair to my psyche. Like, maybe I should pay attention to my so many successes, so many cases that I thought we would resolve for X, and we got X plus, 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 plus. I mean, there's lots of great stories. But that bad one is the one that, I always go back to. And in some ways, it's driven my career. I I'm obsessive about getting things right as I go along, because I remember the pain of that bad time. So,
Ken?
what is it, Ken?
For the longest time, and that's an interesting question, for the longest time, the only case I ever remembered losing was my third jury trial. Had won the first one, won the second one. The third one, the situation was my guy was in his home. Some people broke into his home to assault him, to rob him, that type of thing. He pulled out a gun, started shooting. They ran out. He then ran out of his home, followed them down the street, shooting. And despite all my best efforts, I couldn't get past the facts of him running down the street shooting at folks because there was no longer a threat. And once he chased him out of the house, had he stopped, number one, I don't even know if he would have been arrested, but number two, it would have been a much easier case. And that case haunted me for decades. But like you said, motivated me to do better, continue to work hard, to investigate every nuance, to know every elements of the law, to investigate the facts. And, I went on a winning streak after that. But that drove me crazy for I don't know how long.
What
See?
was
Yeah, okay. But I think that's probably an element of every great trial attorney's repertoire in their closet. They have one of those which pushes them forward.
You're not trying cases if you don't.
Yeah.
You're not in the courtroom. You're not mixing it up. You're not representing people. You're not dealing with hard cases if you don't.
The one thing I can say about what I do versus what you do is, or at least did, I get to pick and choose my clients now, right? And as an esteemed member of the bar, I get to pick and choose the best. Like if I think a case has warts on it, I might pass it along to another firm that specializes in the wart cases. And so, defense attorneys, like the folks I try cases against who represent people from insurance companies, they get whatever's falling on their lap. And if it's a bad case, it's a bad case. And they end up coming to me, with tears in their eyes to settle it at some point.
And certainly in the public defender's office, we don't get to pick our cases. Whatever comes across the desk is what we try. And I would say that is one of the benefits because you then learn how to try any number of different types of cases. You're not pigeonholed into just DUIs or just drug cases or just gun cases. You get a world of experience. When I'm in private practice, I can be more selective. But most often I find myself leaning on my public defender roots. I have a soft heart. Somebody's mom or grandmom calls me with a story about their child, their family member being in trouble. You want to help. I end up taking the case.
And the difference is between you and me, again, that we're showing the differences between the civil side of life and the criminal side. I'm only getting paid. Okay, here's a truth. I'm only getting paid and putting food on the table if I win. If I win. I work on a contingent fee. If I lose my case, I go home with empty pockets. If you lose your case, whether it's a public defender's office or private practice, presumably you've gotten paid.
Yeah.
That is a big presumption. Presumably somebody has agreed to my fee. Presumably somebody has agreed to my fee.
Yeah.
But it's more often than not, there's on some type of payment plan.
Gotcha.
More often than not, I've charged them less than I probably should have charged them. And more often than not, I don't get the full fee.
Yeah.
But the reward is I'm doing what I love to do and I'm helping folks as best I can.
I got a quick question. So what do you consider, as a lawyer, what do you consider a win? Let's say the prosecution wants to do 15 to 30 and you get it down to 7-14. Do you consider that a win?
I consider that a win if the client considers it a win.
Yeah.
Most of my perspective is based on what the client and their family want, and or
as long as
what
they're
they can do with.
reasonable, because you're going to educate them as to what there's worst case scenario, the best case scenario, and if they're not in reality, that you can't feel too bad about those people. You
Yeah,
can't.
I probably shouldn't,
Yeah.
but I do.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
And this is probably a character defect.
It is. It is.
But I hate losing. I hate losing more than I love winning.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's all of us.
That's why I say we remember
Yeah.
we remember the bad ones.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if I have a settlement offer on a case, and I believe with all my heart, for the legal reasons, the factual reasons, that this is the proper settlement on this case, and the client absolutely refuses to listen to my advice, I will move forward on the litigation of that case. I will try that case. And if and when the results come back and they're what I suggested they would be, or maybe worse, and the client loses, then that's on them. I can't do more than that. I always tell my clients, the one thing you do when you hire me is you're hiring me to guide you, because I've done 1,000 of these and you've done one. And so if you're looking for advice on what to do, you've come to the right person. If you want to run your own show despite my best advice, well, then you're going to have to take the consequences for that.
And I don't disagree with that. And you certainly build the rapport and the trust with the families so that they do feel comfortable relying on what you tell them and do feel that they can trust what you tell them as being accurate.
Because the corollary to that is there are a lot of lawyers out there who either through negligence or their own self-interest do not give that kind of advice and do not deserve that kind of respect from their clients.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, at least for me, if I see my client going in the back with handcuffs, I'm heartbroken,
yes.
Whether you listen to me or not.
True. And I feel bad when a client walks away with nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Or not what they expected.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
But are some of their expectations a little bit
Yes.
really
Yes.
too high?
Some of the
cases?
expectations are actually absolutely unreasonable.
Right.
But then that goes back to the trust, that goes back to the open communication, that goes back to the relating and communicating and conveying to your client.
I want to go back to something you said about
Yes,
the public defender's office. In the newspaper business, you have an editor, an assignment editor who says, okay, give this to such and such and such and such. Is it the same way in the public defender's office? Does someone say, okay, give this one to such and such, give this one to such and such?
So back when I was there, and certainly when I got to the major trial rotation, the way the public defender's office works is you are assigned to a courtroom.
But who's doing that? Who's the person?
Yes, there are administrators that will
Okay.
put you in a courtroom.
All right.
So you will be assigned to a courtroom. There will be a specific judge, and typically there will be specific 1 or 2 DAs.
Okay.
So any case that is then sent to that courtroom, you are responsible for. So it can range from anything. And now,
What
once
about
you're the
trial
major-
judges?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are the trial judges.
So-
that will
so-
be your trial judge.
So the same public defenders will try case after case after case in front of the same judge.
Yes, for however long they're assigned to that room.
Gotcha.
So for example, early in my career, I was assigned to one judge for 1.5 years, then I was assigned to another judge for 1.5 years. Both of them were known as jury trial judges. So it was common to have one jury in the back deliberating while we're picking another one.
Okay.
And, in Philly, obviously, there's no shortage of criminal cases.
I will say this, from the civil side, again, it seems this show is developing into a comparison, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
On the civil side, we try cases in Philadelphia at a rate greater than everybody else in the state and probably the country. The trial judges in Philadelphia, the administrative judges over the last 25 years, have cleaned up their act and have got us on target to try most cases within 24 months of filing. Whereas if you want to make a comparison to Montgomery County, you have an accident in Bala as opposed to the Philadelphia side, you could wait 7 years or more before your case gets tried in Montgomery County.
Is there a statute of limitations for
No,
something like that?
no. Once you file your lawsuit, right now I've got a case that will get tried in December that was filed 12 years ago.
Do the people even remember? I mean, do you kind of like just go, I got a case on whatever. Right?
And the reason why is in Montgomery County, it's lawyer directed. So the lawyers determine when they're going to do their depositions, when they're going to do their discovery, how long, when they're going to do an independent examination of the plaintiff, and they delay and they delay and they delay. In Philly, it's judge directed. The judge sets a scheduling order and adheres to that order, whether the lawyers like it or not.
What would you say the cause of the delay is?
Yeah.
In Monco, is it billable hours? Is it
there's
caseload is too much?
There's too few judges. Okay, so we all know criminal takes precedence because they do have strict timelines, right?
Yes.
When is a case under state law? How long can a case take to be tried?
If you're in custody, you have to be released if it hadn't been tried in 180 days, and none of the delay was your fault. And if you're out, 365 days. Again, if none of the delay was your fault.
The case has to begin to be tried.
Yes, or they have to drop it.
See, they've got strict guidelines, and so their cases take precedence over civil cases. And these judges in Montgomery County are doing both duties. So a judge will hear a criminal case one day and a civil case the next day, so on and so forth.
7 to 12 years for a case to settle. My God, that's just
Yeah.
it's so unfair first to everybody, but the client, I mean.
Yeah, justice delayed is justice denied.
My God.
Yes.
Sir.
Hold
Johnny-
on.
Oh, go ahead.
215-227-2727 is the number for all things legal. If you've got a legal issue, question, or problem, today's the day to call. Give us a
Amen.
call at 215-227-2727, and Kenny or I will answer your questions explicitly.
Especially for all the new people in town this weekend. This is the place to be, or
Oh.
call in case there's an issue. Trust us.
Rutus elutus.
Not bad. You Latin phrase.
Picnicus.
Okay, let's run that. What'd you just say?
Rutus elutus.
Go ahead, back there.
Picnicus.
Okay. That's like two guys in a Roman court. Johnny Cochran.
Yes.
All his success, the one thing that stuck with him was the Geronimo Pratt case.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yep.
All his successes, OJ, whatever, that was the one case that stuck in his craw because he couldn't get him out. But eventually, Geronimo Pratt was freed. And peeking to the mic.
But you also know what I find interesting? Later on in his career, he started looking around at all his colleagues. He started looking around at all the people he believed he was a better trial attorney than, and started focusing more on the civil.
Is that right?
Yep.
Civil's, well, in criminal, he plays defense.
Yeah.
So, like, he's sitting there, looking for the balls to come, and he's catching the ball. I actually have to, figure out an offense that will beat the defense. And so we have to plan, and he has to wait because it's our burden, right? It's the Commonwealth's burden to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. He could sit there and do nothing, and at the end and say, ladies and gentlemen, they haven't met their burden, and here's why. I need to actually meet my burden.
Right.
I got to plan a strategy that accomplishes meeting my burden.
Every case is for you. This is the way it is.
Yeah.
Now, yes, that is accurate. I would suggest that is a unrealistic way of looking at things. Very rarely are we able to just sit back and say the Commonwealth hadn't proven their case and that it is their burden. More often than not, I think the reality is we have to disprove their case, despite the law saying we have no burden. I mean, that's the reality of it in a criminal case.
All right, so your strategy sessions are a little bit different, but there is a strategy every time.
Always has to be.
Well,
somebody's life, somebody's freedom is at stake.
Exactly.
The first thing is he has to know what they know.
Everything.
Right?
And that's why there's an attorney-client privilege, right?
No, not know what his client knows.
Oh.
Of course he has to do that as well. But he has to know what the Commonwealth knows. He has to know what evidence they have.
And he gets to know that, right?
How do you get that evidence? I know how I get it.
Well, first of all, you presume they know everything, and then work back from there. And you hope that you know everything based on the conversation you've had with your client.
How often does that happen?
Rarely. But we've been doing this long enough to figure out how to read between the lines. But the process is called discovery. The Commonwealth is responsible for passing the discovery. The discovery is the police paperwork, it's the audio, it's the video, it's the photos, it's the interviews.
Do you always get it all?
No. And it's called rolling discovery because you will get some of it as you are in the middle of trial. I have had I've had any number of occasions, despite my admonitions to the contrary, where I'm sitting at trial, jury's in the box or judges on the bench, and the Commonwealth will slide me a stack of CDs. Ken, you might want to listen to these prison calls.
Those are post-arrest evidence.
And, the prison calls, they got a big sign over it. These calls are monitored.
Yeah.
These calls are recorded.
How dumb are criminals?
Well, they're in jail.
They're in jail. They want to talk to people.
Okay.
And, but I would suggest similarly, if you have somebody that comes to you and says, I was in a car accident, I was hurt, I can't move, and then all state's attorney brings you a video of your client doing jumping jacks.
Yeah, playing ball or something. Right?
Yeah. Happens
all the time.
Not all that often at trial, but certainly they're entitled to hold that evidence under law before the deposition. So a deposition is when my client is questioned under oath by the attorneys for the opposite side. And he or she is asked questions about how the accident may have happened or the incident, whatever it was that caused the injury, what the injury is, what their limitations are. They get into everything. They try to get into every aspect of the client's life to have some information to defend the claim. If they should have surveillance tapes before the deposition, they do not have to turn them over before the deposition. They get to sit and ask those questions. You do not know that they have your client doing jumping jacks, as he says, I can't move more than this much, and lifts his arms like an inch or two. And so there's always there's always a presumption that they have that. Okay, I make that presumption, and I tell the client, there is nothing you should say in this deposition that they could prove by video evidence to the contrary. Because it's always we can understand that people can do things in the moment that they suffer with afterwards because they're in pain and because they have limitations that may not be demonstrated in a few seconds of a video. But what we can't explain away is a lie. Once your credibility is attacked and successfully attacked, it's game over. Is it the same?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not just video evidence. I mean, it's whatever you put on social media.
I was getting ready to
whatever
bring
your
that
family
up.
puts on social media. It's whatever you're posting at the beach.
Oh, my God. You know how far back you have to go for some people, how much things you have to read. People start deleting stuff off their threads of conversation when they suddenly get arrested and whatnot. And then there's surveillance cameras. And
there's cameras on almost every block, on almost every pole. Yeah. I mean, they're recording, somebody's watching.
Better believe
so
it.
It's affected both of you guys, civil and criminal.
All right, let's talk to Joseph on line one.
Morning,
Joseph, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dean, as always, and good morning to your guests. So I'll be right to the point. There was an era in this city where it was almost legendary that there were two judges in our town that were extremely, I don't want to say the word cruel, but extremely harsh, and that's soft, in terms of when black men were being faced in their court.
I know one of
And
them.
it's an odd contrast, a very odd contrast, so I'll bring it up. And correct me along the way where I may be wrong. One of those judges was Juanita Kidd Stout, and the other was Lynn Abraham. And I've often wondered, and I've been in company where judges, black judges, have said these things, that it was a very hard time for black men in the city when they stood before them. And now we have Larry Krasner, who has recently, this past week, did a case where the three were exonerated. So I'm just wondering, and had always wondered, is there a certain science or DNA in terms of when black males appear in any court, full of or not, that they're given a certain standard of justice? And is that, to anyone's, imagination, true or false?
Good question, Joseph. And Mr. Edelin's been around long enough to probably have seen the good, the bad, the ugly. What say you?
The court system tracks what society tracks. I mean, the court system looks at folks just the way society looks at folks. The people on the bench have been elected. And so they have not necessarily been vetted. They have not necessarily been deemed qualified. They have just been deemed popular enough and or paid enough money to the controlling parties to get on the bench. So they come with their own predilections. They come with their own prejudices, just like everybody else. So to answer your question, is absolutely people get treated differently. But you will see that from the number of black men getting arrested. You will see that from the number of black men going through the system.
Do you represent a client different based on the nuances of the judges?
You have to. You have to know the forum that you're in, because that's the only way you can properly advise your client. If I know I'm in front of a judge that if we lose, you will get the stat max, I have to tell you that, because that also informs whether or not you should take the offer that they're making. That also informs whether or not we think your case is strong or not strong. That also informs whether you should have a trial by just the judge or pick a jury. So you absolutely have to tailor that.
And having a trial by jury doesn't take the judge out of the equation, because the judges are making certain evidentiary decisions and influencing the jury in subtle, non-direct ways.
I don't disagree with that, but it makes it much more difficult for them to completely control the case. The jurors are the finders of the fact. The judge is supposed to be the finder of the law. You're absolutely right that they will impose and impart their personality on the case. But ultimately, it's up to the 12 citizens.
Joseph, thank you for calling Court Radio and adding a little flavor for the day, sir.
Thank you.
Folks, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We're back with Ken Edelin in 2 minutes. We are on YouTube Live still.
Always on camera, right in front of you. Do you go into, and maybe it's subjective, but do you go into your cases going, I'm going to hope my strategy is to get a deal, or my strategy is to get this guy person off? Does it subjective per?
It's based on each case, but it's also based on what the client wants.
Okay.
And we have that conversation early on in the process.
All right.
You tell me what you want. Are you looking for a deal? Do you want a trial? If you want a trial, do you want a judge trial? Do you want a jury trial? Okay. And we talk about the issues that are involved with each of those decisions.
And that's before anything else. You go in. When
Not necessarily before anything else, but you know,
get a sense of.
I want to get a sense of where they're coming from, but I also want them to get a sense of where I'm coming from.
And what's
and
realistic.
that I'm going to have open and honest conversation with them.
Right.
To build that trust, to build that rapport.
Okay. This is totally off, maybe not. Are jurors making enough money to do this?
No.
Yeah.
$9
a day still?
No. I think it's a little bit more than that, but of course not.
No.
But it is a civic duty. The system doesn't work without them. The voting doesn't work without them.
Right.
Right? I mean, this is the price we pay for being a citizen.
I tell people all the time it behooves us to try to sit on these juries.
And
yeah. Nobody ever wants to do it, but.
Certainly in federal court in the Eastern District, if I am sitting there, I can't tell you how many times I've been sitting next to my client who happens to be black, and they bring in 40 or 50 jurors, mainly from the surrounding 9 counties, and there may be 2 or 3 black folks. And the look, the surprise, the horror that appears on their face
when the verdict comes out.
Well, this is as they're bringing them in, we can pick. So I have to pick 12 out of this pool who doesn't look like them, who doesn't relate to them, who doesn't understand them.
Everybody I know always wants to get out of doing jury. Everybody I've ever known. I don't want to do this. I hate this.
Because it's $9 a day. It's got to come into the city.
All right, folks, we're back. Yes, sir. We are back. Good morning. Welcome back. I am Dean Weitzman, your host here at Court Radio every Saturday morning, right here on 100.3 WRNB.
And Classics 1079.
We are also live on YouTube. Yes, we are. It's easy to find us, I think. You probably just Google Court Radio, but if not, you can go to the My Philly Lawyer website, click on the Court Radio button, and that'll take you to the live feed. once you have it there, you can kind of program it to come up every Saturday morning and wake you up as your alarm clock.
Are we planning to YouTube the June 13th event?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're going to have a live feed on Saturday, June 13th at 12 o'clock. So it's an unusual time for us, but we're going to give it a shot.
Good food, too.
There's a whole food court of dumplings and stuff. You know,
So this is gonna be good.
It's gonna be good.
Little bao buns and dumplings and all kinds of tasty treats. But we're going to have a full 1 hour show on Saturday, June the 13th. If you'd like to go, I saved this for the second half. You just have to email me at dean@myphillylawyer.com.
All right.
And I will get you on the list of approved candidates. We're going to have limited seating.
I was going to ask you that. How many do you think we can accommodate that day?
Well, there's going to be at least seating for 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's all these, it's a food court.
It's a food court, so there's room for a lot of folks could show up.
Yes, and there'll be some standing room. We're going to have gift certificates to the supermarket below. There's actually this gigantic specialty Asian supermarket. I got to say, their produce, top notch. Top notch. It's called Hung Fa Supermarket. And so I got gift certificates from the supermarket. They've agreed to contribute to the show.
Nice.
We're going to have some prizes and giveaways.
Giveaways are always nice.
From the station and from My Philly Lawyer. It's going to be a good time. So if you'd like to go, email me to dean@myphillylawyer, and we will get you on the list. In the meantime, today, we have the great Ken Edelin from...
It's a lofty title for
From-
Saturday morning.
From the
great Ken is lofty.
Kenny is a criminal defense attorney at heart. He's the principal of Kenneth Edelin and Associates. He worked at My Philly Lawyer for a period of time.
I did.
How was that
did.
experience, Ken? Care to share?
I loved it. I
Good for
enjoyed it.
you. All right.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It didn't take me long to figure out that I am better at criminal defense than civil cases. But, everybody has this stretch, and you got to figure that out sooner rather than later.
He's also, got an extensive amount of experience in the criminal side, having worked for and really been a leader at the Philadelphia Public Defender's Office, which is one of the premier
best
public defender's offices in the country, and also the Philadelphia Federal Defender's Office. And you've seen a lot. You've seen a lot of judges coming and going. How would you, what's your synopsis for where the court was and where it is today? Like, what's changed, and is it better today than it was?
The biggest issue that Philly has, and I would suggest that it's probably uniform throughout all big cities, is just the volume, the number of cases that come through, the number of cases that have to be disposed of, because you start getting into that conveyor belt justice, because the backlog, the catalog is just so large. And so you have some judges that are more prone to move cases quickly. You have judges that are more prone to speed through cases. You have judges that are more prone to allow their personal predilections and their background, whether they've come from the DA's office and are thinking one way, whether they're coming from law enforcement and are thinking one way, whether they're coming from public defender's office or defense attorney and are trying to overcompensate for that background. And you have to deal with that. Again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You have to know your forum so you can best advise your client. So I don't know if I can say it's better or worse. The caseload has always been ridiculous. Public defender's office has always been overworked and underpaid. And all of the system has always been geared towards getting these cases through, getting these cases resolved, with justice being a secondary or third concern.
Is that an indictment on the city itself, all these cases, or is it an indictment on the system that handles the case?
I don't know that you can nor have to separate that.
Okay.
I would say one way to look at it is if the cases aren't being charged, then you're going to have less cases. And, there could be, and the city has done some of this, there could be more cases that are moved into a system that is not the criminal system.
Mental health court, drug court.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Okay.
And so the more we understand and move those cases that should go into, let's say, the mental health court, I think we're doing a greater service and getting people off the street, perhaps. But we really need to put, I mean, I don't want to get back into this again, but we need to put a hell of a lot more money into mental health treatment.
Drug treatment?
Yeah. Well, that is a mental health problem.
Here, here.
I consider addiction to be a mental health. I mean, it is in the DSM-4.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
addiction is a mental disease that can be cured through, treatment. So in any event, how does a criminal conviction affect a person's life?
It certainly in Pennsylvania, it follows you forever because there are very few things in Pennsylvania that can ultimately be expunged. Most time you have to rely on some type of governor's pardon. And so a criminal conviction, folks are looking at you in terms of whether or not you're employable. Folks are looking at you in terms of if you can get insurance, what that rate should be. Folks, you can't vote, you can't own a gun. It impacts a lot, if not all, of your civil liberties. So it is a huge decision when it's come time to whether or not you should plead to a lesser offense. Let's say you're charged with a felony. Felonies in Pennsylvania have 3 grades, 1, 2, and 3, 1 being the worst. After that are misdemeanors. Misdemeanors also have 3 grades, 1, 2, and 3. So while it is a big decision to decide whether or not I should plead to a felony or take this offer that is now a misdemeanor, so I don't have a felony on my record, in Pennsylvania you still can't get misdemeanors expunged.
Most.
The overwhelming majority. They are starting to put some mechanisms in place where you can get them sealed or hidden, and maybe a casual search won't bring them up. But anybody who has the law enforcement database or access to more of the more expensive and more thorough search engines will find it.
What should a client who has just recently been indicted, okay, or charged, or maybe the police called and said, we want to talk to you. They've had some engagement with the law enforcement, and they are nervous, and they call you, and they want a consultation. What happens in that first consultation?
Can we take one step back? Because I'm going to need you all's help. I want everybody to say this with me. When the police contact you, shut up.
Shut up.
Don't
Just shut or shut up.
Just shut. This is a family station, so just shut up. But in
Okay.
terms of once you call, so you don't want to ever speak to the law enforcement by yourself. You don't want to speak to law enforcement without an attorney present. I'm not one of the folks that think all cops are bad. I'm not one of the folks that think all cops are going to twist your words and blah, blah, blah. But I am one of the folks that understand that their job is to investigate allegations. You are the object. You are the subject of that allegation. So nothing that you can say will change their mind necessarily. So you need to have an advocate who knows the law and who can speak on your behalf and make sure you don't say anything that ultimately will hurt you. And so when you first come to me, or when you come to any criminal attorney, let's sit down and let's look each other in the face. Let's talk to each other on the phone. Let's do FaceTime or whatever, Zoom or whatever it is, so you can see me. You can see that I don't have horns. You can get a sense of who I am. We can build some type of rapport, some type of level of trust, some type of comfort level that you can say, okay, this guy will be in my corner. Let's talk about superficially what the allegations are, what the facts are, and let's get a sense of how it is that you want to approach them. A lot of times folks come to me and say, look, Ken, just keep me out of jail. Understood, I'll do that. Look, Ken, I did not do this. Okay, well then let's talk about how we can disprove what it is they're saying.
Right.
Look, Ken, I may have done this, I may have done some things, but I can't plead to this because I can't plead to the felony because the implications would be this. Okay, I understand my marching orders. And if you say I want trial, all right, well, let's talk about, is your case better in front of a judge or a jury, and what that looks like. And, hopefully all of that is able to take place in the first conversation, because then at some point we're going to have to talk about business.
What's business?
How much I need to charge to properly represent you.
What would a average run-of-the-mill felony case cost somebody?
I don't know that there's such a thing.
Yeah, I didn't
Average
know.
run-of-the-mill
Is it
felony.
an average run-of-the-mill stolen car case? Is it the average run-of-the-mill gun case? Is it the average run-of-the-mill homicide case?
Okay,
So
something like a drug case or a gun case in Philly.
Even those are different.
That you're going to that you're going to take right up to trial.
I would say, and this is a
range. You can give me a
gross
range.
generalization, but if somebody is going to a jury trial in Philly on a case that will probably last 2 or 3 days, you should expect to pay somewhere between $7,500 and $10,000.
But let's say you're the lawyer of Luigi Mangino, and that's a huge case with a whole lot of nuances as far as,
Oh,
when they did this and when they did that, what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they're going to court, to court, to court,
that's
to
millions.
Yeah.
That's millions.
That could be millions. Motions and teams of attorneys and evidence being brought up from all over the country and private investigators and
that's not running-the-mill felony.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
No
that's
way.
2 or 3 years or more, obviously. Okay, so the same case. Now you're in federal court. Does it change the pricing?
It has to, because the feds are going to investigate and prosecute it differently.
They got unlimited resources.
They
for
have
one.
unlimited resources. Typically what we find is that the law enforcement has the resources and or the ability and or the experience to do a more thorough job. And so in a typical city case, you may walk in and get 10 sheets of paper. The feds are coming in with a box.
and that's the thing.
That's the thing.
It's like, the prosecution has these unlimited resources, and it seems like the defendant is at the mercy of their own resources
Absolutely.
on what type of justice they can actually get.
Absolutely. Well, what type of representation they can get. And which may be saying the same thing as what
Right.
type of justice they can get.
Like
But, you are rarely going to find somebody who has federal government money in the private sector.
Right.
Right.
So most people are going to come up short on
And
the
mortgaging
financial
their
end.
houses and all that stuff.
In the
comes into
civil
play.
side, again, making a comparison, as in a law firm, we undertake all costs.
Right.
So we represent you on a contingent fee basis. We get paid only if you get paid at the end of the case.
Right.
And we front all costs. So my typical trial requires at least 2, if not more, experts. I've got to go out and get a doctor who will convince the jury that the injuries my client sustained were caused by the incident in question. I may need to have an accident reconstructionist or an engineer, and they all cost a lot of money. I might spend $40,000 in expert costs before I get to the courthouse steps. And then that's on top of all the time that the attorneys are spending in the representation. Do you use experts, and who's fronting those costs?
The family pays
Yeah.
for the expert.
Okay.
Are
Are you using experts in every case?
No, absolutely not. But every case doesn't require an expert. I mean, if the case is officers are sitting in an unmarked car and they see you do a hand-to-hand, and then they go arrest you and they find the stash.
We call that a handy? No, or that's something different.
Yeah,
Hand-
I'll leave that alone.
Hand to hand.
Hand-to-hand exchange. I give
Okay.
you
Yep.
USC, you give me something.
Uh-huh.
They stop you and you have money. They
Or
stop
or
me
drugs.
And I have
Yeah.
drugs,
Okay.
right? I mean, so in that case, very rarely would it make sense for a family to incur the cost of an expert.
Mm.
But certainly in some of the bigger cases.
And when I say
certainly in the
expert, I'm
feds-
also talking about a private investigator.
Right. But in the feds, you will see it used more often, especially in some of the financial crimes, the bank frauds and that type of thing, because you need a forensic expert, a financial expert, to take a look to say, yes, that is not how you're supposed to do that,
Right.
right? Or else I got to learn tax law, which
Isn't
is
happening.
not going to happen.
No. What's the nowadays we're inundated with social media. Does that help your case? Can it help your case?
Look at the body language.
I mean, obviously, it hurts your case.
We know it hurts the case.
Okay.
So
let's talk about how it hurts your case.
Let's start with the ground rule premise that we know it hurts your case. But there are ways, and I have seen and have been able to use instances where it does help.
How?
So, for example, let's say it's a sexual assault case. And
Okay.
a young lady has made allegations that you sexually assaulted her, raped her, and it happened at 10 o'clock at night leaving the bar. But let's say there's video from the bar showing you all walking off, hand in hand, cuddling, kissing, completely contradicting her story. Or let's say there's video of somebody's Ring camera, just happens to catch us leaving the next morning, hugged up, holding hands, kissing, clearly showing that she has not suffered any trauma from the night before.
No apparent trauma.
No
No apparent trauma from the night before. In those ways, it's very helpful. As a general rule, it hurts.
Well, hold on.
Go ahead.
All that you mentioned, I wouldn't really classify that as social media. I would classify that as video evidence that can become eradicated.
I see where you're going, yeah.
Eradicated over time. So,
But the same, I would just say the same course of conduct goes with social media. If you're posting,
right.
I had a wonderful night last night. Guess who I got to hang out with? Everything was lovely.
Right.
You got
wanna see
hearts
him
all
again.
over the thread and everything.
Yeah. Then I can
The
see the
emoji,
social.
yeah.
But the video evidence can become spoiled or destroyed unless obtained and preserved early in the process. Again, which is why Johnny comes to you and says, I just got a call from the police. And they want me to come in and talk to them about some night I had with Jane, and you got to jump on getting a private investigator to get out to wherever they were, possibly to find this ring evidence.
Say it with me. First thing,
Shut up.
All right. And now, but you're absolutely right. You have to move quickly. Somebody's Ring cameras, they're going to tape over it. Somebody's store camera, they're going to tape over it. Most of the eyes in the sky, the cameras on the poles, they'll keep for a while. And typically in Philly, you have to have your preliminary hearing, which is the first time you're in court within 7 to 14 days, and you can request that it be preserved.
If people begin to instantly start deleting things on their social media platforms, maybe editing conversations, you can do all that, but all of that can be traced. Doesn't that make a person go, why is he deleting all this stuff? He must be guilty. What are you trying to hide? And nothing you delete can't be found again. It's always somewhere.
Yes, absolutely. But
Right.
I also would suggest it goes the other way. Why is the complainant, the one making the allegations, now all of a sudden deleting stuff?
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
215-227-2727. If you've got a legal question, Ken or I have the answer. 215-227-2727, the number for Court Radio every Saturday morning, and the number for My Philly Lawyer always. Want to take a quick break?
Why not?
Why not? Folks, we're going to be taking a quick 2-minute break. We're going to be back with Ken Edelin. We're talking criminal defense today, and we're answering your questions. Be right back.
Ken.
Sir.
And Dean, because this comes up in your profession. Nowadays, prices are ridiculously high. Some people are bad people. I used to work with a guy like that. He did 20 years. He would say, whatever I wanted, I just took. Now, he's a great guy. But
He's a great guy.
No, I'm saying he
if
did
I
20
want
years,
it, I'd take it.
He did 20 years. He learned, hey, this is not the way to live. He's a different person now. He's a good
He
guy.
spent 20 years in prison?
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of stealing.
He did a lot of all that.
Oh, okay.
Right.
But let me just say this. But that was just his mindset, he said back then. I've worked with him. We worked with the homeless guy. I would have never known had he not told me.
Uh-huh.
Here's my question, though. Do folks take in consideration there are some people that are just bad? Some folks, though, are desperate. I'm starving. My kids are starving. I can't afford blah, blah, blah. I had to feed my kids. That's why I did this. That's why I stole.
I guess
That's why I've never had a record.
He's talking
before.
mitigating circumstances now.
Yeah, mitigating things like that. Is that
It's not a
taken into consideration?
defense.
Right.
No.
So that's the question.
This is not about your character, though, right?
It's
I mean,
not a
people
defense.
are desperate. Desperate
It's
times.
not a defense.
I'm just asking. No way. No
It
one
goes-
takes that into consideration.
That goes. So first, what they want to see, I would suggest, is that you recognize that what you did was wrong and you are contrite,
Gotcha.
right? But typically, that form takes you have now pled guilty,
Mm.
and then you were coming before them saying, "I'm no longer that person. This is why I did that. This is why my thinking was that way."
What if you were
I see
never
that
that
that was
person
wrong.
and this is your
Well,
first
and
crime?
There is
Out of desperation.
There's a mechanism in the law called character evidence.
Okay.
Back in the day, everybody knew each other, so I knew you were a good person. Now it's too large, so the law recognizes that, and they allow character evidence to come in. Character evidence by itself is enough to raise a reasonable doubt.
I'm just going to turn it down.
And so there's a specific jury instruction to character evidence.
All right.
You have heard the character evidence that people know this person, know his reputation in the community to be law-abiding, peaceful, nonviolent. That in and of itself, you can consider whether or not raises reasonable doubt.
All right.
Yes, sirree, Bob. Good morning. I'm Dean Weitzman. This is Court Radio. I'm your host, and I am surrounded by the firm. We've got Eric Tactics Jackson tickling the keys.
Yes, sir.
Manny Manuel Glenn is on camera.
Welcome to Philadelphia meets Picnic People.
And our special guest today is the one and only Ken Edelin. Good morning, Kenny. Good morning. So, we've been talking about criminal defense because that's what Ken specializes in. That's his thing. During a traffic stop, okay, this happens, I guess everybody has this experience. You're stopped and the cop comes up and he says, "Do you know why I stopped you?"
Yeah.
No, but I do have my license and registration and insurance card ready to give you if you so need it.
So the shut up rule.
Yeah.
It always applies.
Always.
Always.
The shut up
Shut up.
rule.
No, I don't know why you stopped me. No, I'm not talking about where I'm coming from. No, I'm not talking about where I'm going. None of that is relevant to what it is you're going to do.
My answer
All
would
of
be, I
that
didn't.
is
I didn't
only the
see
problem.
you.
How about may I search the car?
Absolutely not.
Never.
Not until
Under
you
any
get-
circumstance.
Not until you get a warrant.
I smell something. Can I search the car?
Not until you get a warrant.
Okay. I see something that shouldn't be there. If there's a gun sitting on the seat or something. If there's something visual that he can see that may.
There's a doctrine in the law called plain view.
Right.
If an officer sees something that is
Looks
questionable,
suspect.
that's dangerous, that's illegal,
Right. Okay.
they can at least remove that threat until they can get a warrant.
Gotcha.
They have to be in a place where they're supposed to be, and it has to be plainly obvious. Now, the problem is, how do you know just because you see a gun on the seat that I'm not a licensed gun carrier,
True.
right?
But
So,
if an officer was, I felt my life was threatened to take you out because the gun was on the seat. I'm just saying stuff happens, man.
Absolutely, it happens. But that goes to whether or not how intrusive their interaction with you can be. Because until, yes, maybe the courts are going to allow them, probably the court will allow them to remove the gun from where you can reach it so nobody is in danger of being harmed. But it shouldn't take you long to figure out whether or not I have a license.
Fair enough.
How
Shut
about
up.
like stop and frisk?
Hold on. Stop your stop and frisk, son. Let's talk to Darlene on line 4. Oh, Darlene, welcome to Court Radio.
Hi, how are you? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Your
Good
question?
morning. I'm calling because my question is, my granddaughter was stopped by the police. She was coming from a job, actually, no, not a job, coming from getting her credentials, fingerprints and all that good stuff to start a new job when she was stopped by the cops. Now, she was in her boyfriend's car, and the tags on the car actually had his mother's tags from her vehicle. It wasn't a legitimate tag that was on his car because he was just figuring, well, he can drive around until his actual tags came in. In the meantime, she was, coming from getting her credentials done and dropping off her kids at daycare. The police stopped her, seen the incorrect tags on the back of the car. I guess they probably asked her if it was okay for them to search the car. I don't know why. She must have gave permission, or if she didn't give permission, they searched the car and found the gun. She had a lawyer, and the lawyer requested astronomical amount. Now, she's a mother with 3 kids. She didn't have the amount, but she did come up with $2,500. He showed up the court one time, and he kept postponing the case, of course, because she hadn't finished paying the balance. Now she's currently with a public defender. And my thoughts of a public defender is it's not going to go so well for her. I mean, she's a single mom with 3 kids. What is the chances of her beating a case?
It's a Philadelphia public defender?
Yes, a Philadelphia public defender.
So, Mom, I'd never have anything bad to say about public defenders.
Not
I was
them.
a public defender for 15 years.
You're not them.
And the overwhelming majority of them are good. The overwhelming majority of them know the system, know how to get around the system, and know how to properly represent people. So just the fact that she has a public defender is not a concern of mine. And it sounds like there are any number of issues that any competent attorney would be able to raise to help her. If, for whatever reason, you meet the specific public defender that will be representing her and are uncomfortable with that person or that person's ability, then give Dean a call, and Dean will make sure you get in touch with me.
Okay. That sounds good. Is
Yes,
there a
ma'am.
number? Or
It's
not the same number?
It's always the same number, Darlene.
215-227-2727.
Even Ken knows the number.
But my feelings is that it should have probably by this time, because the 3rd time she's been to court, wouldn't the judge have thrown it out? She says a black female judge. It would be smart for her to bring her 3 kids to court, let them know she's been having one incident after another incident. Every time she get a job, she ends up in the hospital getting a surgery, or one of her kids needs a surgery. She's fallen into like a depression because now she's feeling like she can't go get a job because this is hanging over her head. And I really want to, and I'm grandmom, and I really want to see her proceed, get back up on her feet. She was just coming out of a school, and she was looking forward to starting a new career, and then this happened. So wouldn't you think by now, that they would have thrown this out, seen that the boyfriend came to court immediately that same day, showed him that he had, that the gun was legit, said that it was his car, told him that it was, showed him that the gun was registered. I would have thought that they would have thrown it out by now.
Here's what I'm going to say because we got to wrap up. Give my office a call on Monday, and we'll get you in touch with Ken, and Ken can make some phone calls and at least maybe bring you some peace of mind. One last thing, and I'm not. This is not a comment with regard to your daughter, but just generally to the listening public. We are not victims, and if bad things continue to happen to us on a regular basis, we're probably making bad decisions. People have bad luck, but they don't have bad luck every day their entire life. So, we and I say that only because how we get out from behind these circumstances is we take control of our lives and begin to make better decisions. And so, and again, I don't know your daughter, don't know any of the facts. I'm just saying there's only one thing we control. It's ourselves. Yeah. And so, good luck to you, Darlene. And by all means, when I don't make this offer lightly, give me a call on Monday, 215-227-2727, and I will hook you up with Kenny, and we'll get to the bottom of it and find out some answers for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care, ma'am. Thank you for calling.
Mm-hmm. Folks, we're all out of time. As always, Mr. Edelin, it's great to have you on the show.
Always,
thank you, sir.
Always.
Wonderful to be here.
Folks, I'll see you next week. Same time, same place.
And now the after show, Kenny.
The after
called
show.
Closing arguments.
Closing arguments.
Okay.
We're in closing arguments.
Closing arguments.
I'm going to Patreon this.
Somebody asked
Do you know
a
what
very interesting
Patreon is,
question.
guys? Do you know what Patreon is?
Patreon?
Yeah. What is Patreon?
It's like a streaming service, but you have to pay for it.
You have to pay for it.
Kind of like
If we can Patreon the closing argument. Yes, and then we can take them on a ride. We can do all kinds of crazy things, and and then you get paid for it.
Carly,
Yes.
use the word tilt in a sentence.
Tilt?
Tilt.
I tilted.
No, tilt.
Oh.
You can say tilted.
No. What did we say?
Tilt the pitcher.
Use the word tilt in a sentence.
Yeah, like tilt the
Don't
pitcher.
tilt the bottle over.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm going on the tilt-a-wheel.
That doesn't count. Where's that ride at? Down on the shore somewhere. You and I were talking.
Because
the only
does the
time-
Tower of Pisa lean or does it tilt?
Tilt. The only time you've ever used that word was pinball. And most folks always don't even. You ever play pinball?
Huh?
The ones with the.
Yeah, have you ever?
The ones
Yeah.
with the ones with
You think so?
The thing
you know,
is,
it's got a big
If
metal
you're a
ball,
certain age, we all play
Yeah.
pinball.
and you've got flippers, and the
Yes,
flippers.
Yes.
Yes.
And if you shake the machine too much, it tilts.
Which means it
The
starts so
flipper,
we
the
flip everything.
flippers freeze.
go
You
dead.
can't use them anymore.
Right.
And the ball just comes down
in
into
our
your roll.
lifetime-
so you lose that
I would not have
ball
thought
and
that
you
at all.
gotta go.
So
to
in
the
our
next one.
lifetime, gentlemen, of a certain age, how often have you used tilt in a sentence other than pinball? Think about it.
Very rarely.
Very rarely.
There's a lot of words in the English language you very rarely use.
But if you would say that to So or to Jackson, they'd be like, "What are you talking about, Dad?" They wouldn't. You think they would know?
What?
Pinball machine tilt? The way she described it. You think? They would know?
I think my kids might. I think I put them in front of a pinball machine at least once down the shore in one of those arcades.
Arcades. I
Yeah,
haven't
they
seen one
they
in
still have a
years.
couple. Every arcade down the shore always has a couple of
Still.
those. Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
seen one in years.
and they're very expensive. They're
Stop.
like $2.50 a game.
Get out.
It used to be a quarter, right?
What?
That's how old I am.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. What?
Yeah.
No.
Ludus e sudus.
Can somebody ask? And for you, do you ever
Robinus,
see a day
my pocketus.
when AI will be? Are they asking when AI will be the judge, or AI will be a judge?
Not Allen Iverson.
No. Artificial intelligence cannot try a case, or
No.
at least hear a case.
No, I don't see any day that AI will be the judge or the prosecutor or the defense attorney. I do see AI, and it's probably happening now, being used to manipulate evidence, to manipulate incidents in terms of the production and or the viewing of the incident.
It's now a constant in your cases these days. It's just
Not
now.
quite yet, but it's you can see it
Oh, I'm the
coming.
biggest Big Daddy Kane.
Any other good questions,
Because
guys?
anybody can
Edition.
put something on the internet and
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm not. Y'all gonna have to.
alter a picture.
I'm going to see Big Daddy Kane.
One question
Yeah.
I saw. It said.
I didn't even know he was at the City Winery.
Definitely a different place to see a rap show.
Since you said
It
that,
But he's definitely
the
changed
federal-
up his
the
show.
public
He's
defenders
strictly a
get
band,
assigned
but he
to a
really
court.
in
Do
it.
you
Like he
see
is really like the
the
maestro of the
same
band.
people going
Yeah.
back in the system over and over again, and the same criminals.
Yes, that's called recidivism, and certainly people come back. Now, that's not necessarily related to being assigned to one courtroom, because it usually takes years for somebody to come back, and you're typically not assigned to a courtroom for that long of a time. But I have seen clients come back. I have seen children of people I represented come in.
It's a family affair.
It's a sad state of affairs.
Any other questions? I am headed out of town to North Jersey for my granddaughter's second birthday, so I can't stay too long.
What's her name?
It's Annie.
Happy birthday, Annie.
Is there
Or
a theme? What's the
Annette.
theme?
Yes, there is. Like a theme or anything?
I'm sure there is. I haven't been informed. I
So you don't have to
I'm,
That
wear a
means you didn't pay
particular
for it.
outfit.
No, I'm getting a surprise. No,
Yeah, that's the
Annie's,
surprise. Then there's the
I'm getting her a play set.
Okay.
outside
Yeah, swings and sliding board and that stuff. Yeah.
We grew up with
Enjoy.
real sliding boards. And
Metal.
swings. Metal, hot.
Hot, yeah.
No padding.
Max
no-
Myers Playground.
Oh, my God.
Maxie's. All right, guys.
Blizzards.
We'll see you next
All right.
week. Thanks for being a participant.
How did we survive? They said kids from the 60s and 70s got real resilient.